Hey everybody, glad to see you tonight. I am Brenda from the Art on Creekside. I am going to be creating this really fun little frame from my Printable. Now, there's two parts to it. There's a canvas piece to it and then a canvas board piece to it. I got these from the dollar store, you guys. Super cheap, super easy. This one is a 6x8 and this one is a 4x6 little canvas board. And then you need the printables. Now I printed this one twice and I just cut the plaid frame off of the outside and then I just had the inside. So I did printed that twice. I'm going to be using some basic acrylic paint, just black and white. I'm going to make a gray. I am using some matte Mod Podge to glue things down. I'm going to also be using a little bit of glitter glue or glitter paint, and I have a hot glue gun and a blow dryer. And then we'll see on this one that I did, I added some little silvery kind of snowflakey gems to the outside just to add a little dimension to it, as well as this side that's raised. This little part is raised from the canvas board. So I'm going to show you how to make this. It's so easy, and you do not have to be an artist. You don't even have to pretend to be an artist. You don't have to be an artist on TV. It's so easy. Okay, so let me check. I'm going to check my computer here just to make sure that we are on. And then also, if there's any questions, I'll try to answer them along the way. We'll just kind of see. I'll give that a minute to try to think and download here. Yep, it says we are live. Awesome. Okay. Perfect. So let's get started. Like I said, I printed this off twice. Okay, this is going to be a free printable that I'm going to be offering. All I need, is to have your email, and then it's sent right to your email in your inbox, so you can download it right away. So I've been playing around with these downloadable designs, and it's so great because you, pay for the design on the Etsy shop. You get the download right away. You download it instantly, right seconds after you purchase the download, and so easy, so fast. You print it out yourself. You cut it. I just printed these out on regular 8.5 by 11 computer paper. If you want it thicker, you can put it on a little bit of cardstock. So great, so easy, so great. So I have an old ice cream lid, and I have a little bit of black paint, a little bit of white paint, because I'm going to make a gray. Now, of course, the darker gray you want, the more black you're going to add to it. I'm just kind of making a charcoal color kind of gray. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be painting the sides and kind of the outside edge here. And then also I'm going to be painting the sides, and then I'm going to paint this whole back part with the charcoal gray. Now I have my, got a little goober there. That is a technical term. Little dried piece of paint. I am going to be using my hair dryer just to help things along a little bit with the drying process, just because I am not patient, and I don't want to be doing a live for 4 hours. So a hair dryer is awesome for helping to dry paint. So as you can see, I'm just painting the front, painting along the sides. And I'm not being real careful. I have kind of a smaller paintbrush, not super small, but not real big either. And like I said, this is the cheaper paint. I'm going to grab just a little more here. Just a little more. And if it's not mixed up exactly the same, I'm not too worried about it. There we go. Mix it up. And you can get those paints anywhere, Walmart, craft stores, wherever. Super cheap too. $1 or so, maybe a little more depending where you get it from. So I'm just going to coat this edge along the side, just like so. And I'm going to grab this just along this edge here. And put that down there just so I can get that little space done without getting my fingers super dirty. I always end up getting a lot of paint on my fingers though anyway. Now I got a little paint on here, doesn't matter, I'm covering it all up. My printable is going to go all along that side. So again, all I'm doing is just covering my sides. Sometimes when you have, if you're using canvas, you can use wood too. Wood works awesome. In fact, sometimes I prefer to put these on wood just because they're sometimes a little more sturdy because the center of the canvas is flexible. And so sometimes it can give a little bit and you might get a little bit of paper wrinkling. I probably will just because I used regular computer paper, but don't worry, I'll show you how to take care of that. It's not that big of a deal. These are so cute for like doing tiered trays. I know those are a big thing right now in interior design. Tiered trays and just little signs to add like on mantles and things. Alright, so now I'm just going to just go right along this edge a little bit. Add a little bit of paint. I'm not going to go to the middle of this one because I don't need to. But I am just going to add just a little paint just along this edge, just in case I trimmed my paper a little bit short. It's not going to matter because I'll have a little bit of a gray line there, but that's okay. All right, so I've got a container of water there that I'm just using. Oh, thanks guys. Danielle and Judy, thank you, thank you. Okay, so here's my printable. I'm actually, before I glue anything on, I'm going to make sure that this is dry. So I'm going to grab my handy dandy hair dryer. Don't mind the noise, it's going to be a little noisy. This is great. It takes the time off real quickly. We got that one done. And I think what we'll do is I'm going to put this one, we'll see if we can hang this one right back here. I don't know if this is going to hold it up for us, but we're gonna see. It might. It might. Look at that. We'll see if it lasts up there. Okay, you can see that way there's a finished product. All right, so I'm going to grab the hairdryer again. Now this whole thing is going to get covered up. So, you know, technically, even though I painted the middle of it, you're not going to see it. Because the printable will be over the top of it. pretty dry. I still have paint on my hands, but that's okay. It's not wet, so it's not going to get all over anything. Okay, so we're going to take our first one with our small canvas board. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to line them up. I'll turn upside down so you can see it better. I'm just going to line it up just to make sure that it all fits on there nicely, and it does. So I'm going to take my Mod Podge here, and I'm just using the matte. If you like a different finish, you can use a different finish of Mod Podge. I'm going to use a clean brush. That's a little larger brush. And I'm going to squeeze the Mod Podge right on there. Now sometimes you can buy the squeeze bottles, or you can buy like the little tubs. Either way, it's all the same stuff. I just like the squeeze bottles because I can just squeeze it right onto my surface, and it's a little less messy that way, I feel like. So I'm going to put a little bit of my extra Mod Podge because I got kind of a lot on there. So I'm going to put some on the back of my paper, and then some on my canvas board here. Ooh, I almost lost it. So I got that on there. Oh, I picked up a little on my paint, but that's okay. Got it off on the back, so. All right. So, what I'm going to do, and I'm going to put this upside down so you can see it better. I am going to place this on my canvas board. Just make sure that it's all straight and things. It looks good. And then I'm just very carefully, make sure your hands are dry. And I'm just going to take and push it down. Slide this over just a little bit. See it while I'm working and get the gist of what it should look like. I don't know how I did that. There we go. But I don't know how I did that before, but okay. So I have my first printable glued onto my canvas board. And again, I'm just making sure that it's all down. Now the fun thing about these is that you can embellish these however you want to. I actually had found these little silvery, shiny little snowflakes. I think I found them at Walmart. You know, just to add a little bit of extra fun on the sides there. I'm also going to show you how to use a little bit of glitter paint if you want to. You don't have to. If you don't like it, you don't have to do that either. Alright, so let me grab my scissors. And here's my other cutout. I'm going to cut just around the outside of the plaid so that I don't lose the plaid. And I just printed this off on my home computer. Now you can take it someplace to get it printed if you want a little higher quality. I have an HP, I'm not sure what HP it is. 5077, I want to say. It's a little older printer, and it works pretty okay. I mean, the colors are pretty good, so I don't complain too much about that. All right, recycle that later. So I just cut this out. I have the plaid showing around the outside. Now, this is dry, So I'm going to lay this down, and actually, I see I have a little bit of an edge right there that's not quite painted, so I'm going to go back. I'm going to fix that because that's going to bother me, and I don't want the white canvas showing through. So I'm going to dry this off. Mix up a little more gray here real quick. And again, I need more black than white because I want it to be kind of a charcoaly gray. And that background, I made it so that it was kind of like a chalkboard look in the background of the words. So if you have, if your canvas is a little bit kind of lighter gray, or if you don't have your colors mixed really, really well, and it's more, I don't want to say swirly kind of gray, but if it's not quite solid gray, that's okay too, because I did the background behind the words to look like a chalkboard actually. So if it looks kind of chalkboardy, that's even better still. All right, so I'm going to dry this again. Everywhere here. Let's check and see if anybody has any other questions or anything. Okay, looks like we're good. All right, so again, I'm going to lay this down, just kind of get an idea of where it's going to go before I glue it. And I'm liking that right there. Now, by no means is this perfect, okay? It might be just a smidge off from the center, and I'm going to get it the best that I absolutely can. But, again, I am not a machine, and if you're looking for the perfect looking factory kind of craft thing, artwork, it's not going to be here. And I am okay with that. Kind of the beauty of handmade. It doesn't necessarily have to be totally perfect. All right. So I have my around the inside there. I'm going to add a little bit more. I'm actually going to smooth this out. I'm going to take some of that Mod Podge and use it on the back of my printable. So that I have a thin layer of Mod Podge on the back of the paper as well as on the canvas. It just helps with wrinkling too. Again, I'm using a matte finish Mod Podge. I usually prefer a satin or a gloss, but I had some matte, and so that's what I'm going to use. And it will work just fine. coating on the back there. Alright, this time around I'm actually going to do it my way so that I can see it and line it up really nicely. Not quite over as much as I want, so I'm going to just keep playing with it. Very carefully though, it's paper, so I don't want to rip. If it does, you can reprint another one or just re-glue the part that ripped. Sometimes you can just glue it and you won't even know. But there we go. And again, this time is really going to be important that I push all the air bubbles out. Probably take a little bit of that Mod Podge and put it right on the edges. And my corners are flipping up just a little bit, so I'm going to put a little bit on the corners. Pop those down nicely. This corner a little bit. Pop that down. Alright. So there's the bottom layer. Now remember, I'm going to be putting this one on top so that there's a little bit of a dimension to it. And it's a little bit raised. So it's kind of a double layer. But I'm going to be using hot glue to glue that down. Alright. Now, if you really want to have a sheen or any kind of a shine on here, what I would do first is I would put your gloss, you know, you could use like a clear gloss spray paint, or you can use satin clear gloss spray paint. You can also use different like acrylic. There's an acrylic varnish that you can use. That's a water-based varnish. You just have to be a little bit careful with that, because if you put it on top and you start to move it around a little bit and you touch it while it's drying, the paper will come off. So I like to use more of a spray kind of gloss or varnish on there. So I'm going to just double check this, make sure that it matches up with my canvas. I have a little bit of paper that's just along this edge, so I'm just going to trim that off. Trim it off just a tiny bit. Sometimes you may need to use a little bit of an X-Acto blade or something that can just trim right along that edge too if you need to get it super straight, but it's pretty okay. Alright, so I have my hot glue gun here. It's been heating up, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue all along the back of my canvas board. Like I said, I got these at dollar store, Dollar Tree. You can't go wrong. You can't go much cheaper than that, that's for sure. Alright. Pop that down. Make sure it's not moving. Yeah, look at that. It's like a double layer. There's a little bit of an elevated edge to it. It's so cute. So cute. So for those of you that say, I'm not an artist, I can't even draw a stick person, awesome, because we're not drawing stick people, first off. And second off, the printable's done for you. All you have to do is print it off. And then you can use it in your own work. You can use it in putting things together on canvas or painting around it or whatever you want. And there'll be other examples that I'll be showing on Art on Creekside here that I'm doing with just some little crafty projects, which, you know, there's the old argument of what's craft and what's art. Well, if you're having fun, it doesn't matter. That's what I say. Alright, so I'm going to put my scissors away so it's not in my way. I have some tulip glitter paint. Now, I'm not usually a big glitter girl. I'm not real big on glitter and shiny and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. But I found with this project, it's kind of fun on your snowflakes. And I'm going to put it up here like this. On the snowflakes here, I'm going to add just a little bit of glitter. It just adds a little bit of glitz to it. And since snow is kind of sparkly, I'm going to add just a little bit of sparkle. Let's see, here we go. This is the brush I'm looking for. Now, I don't have to be fancy about it. I'm not even going to get real detailed about it. All I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of this glitter paint on my snowflakes. And it dries. It kind of goes on a little bit milky looking, but it dries very clear. So it'll just be just the little shimmery glitter that's left behind. And I'm just adding it like so. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to finish doing that. I'm going to turn it right side up for me. And again, I'm basically drawing a little circle with my paintbrush. I'm not getting fancy. I'm going to do these little circles here too. I'm not getting real fancy. I'm not getting super complicated. Because right now, who needs complicated? We don't need complicated. And this would make a super cute little Christmas gift. You could even buy a frame and take the glass out of it and just add the little canvas inside. And if you really want to frame around it, you don't even really need it. Alright, so I almost am done here. You can see for supplies, I've, a couple dollars worth of supplies is all it's taken. And you can like add glitter to the letters, you can do whatever you want to these. Okay, so you can kind of see, I don't know if you can kind of see this one, it's just got the paint, it's white, it will dry clear. Quick dry and I'll show you. There we go. You can see that it's dried clear and there's just a little bit of shine on there. I'm not sure if you can see the little shimmery glitter in there, but it's there. You can see it. It looks kind of like darker circles, but it's glittery. You can see that it's glittery if you're up close. You could even use regular glitter and some whatever you want. The options are endless. So I can take and I can then play around with these little silvery snowflakes, and I think they are a little different. There's some that are a little bigger and some that are a little wider and some that are a little thinner, and I can go ahead and I can kind of play around with these of how, you know, I can leave it alone and not add any, or I can add some of them around the corners, or, you know, however I want to do it. I can do it however. And I would just use some hot glue and just glue those on however I want to. But you can see that these two they're a little bit different, but both super, super, super cute. So there you go. I mean, crafting and artwork, it doesn't get much easier than that. So yeah, I will have this printable available to you for a free download on me. I'm glad that you're here with me. Hopefully you'll enjoy doing this project. I know I did. It took me 20 minutes, half hour maybe, from start to finish. Really, really cheap supplies, really, really easy. So again, thank you for joining me, Brenda from Art on Creekside, and make sure that you stop by my Etsy shop. Make sure you like and follow us here at Art on Creekside on Facebook Live, or Facebook Live on Facebook. We're also on Instagram and we're also on TikTok. So join us, make sure you follow us, make sure you like us, and keep up to date with all the cool and fun projects that I'm going to show you what to do. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks.